Greetings and salutations. Welcome to another New Year's related stream, I suppose. Hopefully, we are done with any of the technical issues that have been plaguing me. I've had some issues with getting the stream going today, and we had some issues on the other New Year's stream, and I don't know why we had either set of issues, but today, greetings, Sans. I think I can get the chat working. I think I can. Let's see if this works. It might take it a minute to kick in. Yeah, we're going to be doing a anime-related stream today. It turns out I watch anime. Yeah. So these are all of the... Well, okay, so I haven't watched all of these animes, but I've watched a lot of them. These are animes from last year. And, is this the full list I found? Wait, 1, 2, 3, 4. I think this is all of them. Yeah, so we have a list of animes here. Most of these I've seen. If I haven't seen them, there's a reason it's on the list. Maybe I've seen a part of it, or, maybe I've seen a part of it, maybe I've read the source material, like the manga, the light novel. Blue Lock is underrated. I have a friend of mine who is a big fan of Blue Lock. I haven't seen it myself. It's a soccer anime, right? Oh, also... Oh! I was going to just do like some music while I talk, since normally we have like in-game sounds when we're, playing games. But yeah, I don't know what this music is. It's just something that I can get the copyright for. Something that it will let me use. Okay, yeah, I don't have as exact of, ideas for how we're tier listing these as when we tier listed games from last year. Tier listing these animes, with the games I had 3 categories, and none of those don't really apply to animes. We're just going to start somewhere. How about we start with something popular? What one of... Some of these are more popular, some of them are less popular. This was pretty popular, wasn't it? Okay, so we're going to be tier listing Kaiju number 8 to start with. Kaiju number 8. I'm also going to give a little description of a lot of these. I also have a page pulled up with anime descriptions if I need to refer to it and such. Yeah, Kaiju number 8 is this... Yo, Kaiju number 8, and I think I see Chained Soldier. I don't have Chained Soldier on this list. I watched 1 or maybe 2 episodes of Chained Soldier. Not enough for me to rate it though. Oh, Stream Elements is for some reason kicking in right now. Okay, I don't know what's going on with that. And why isn't chat working? Yeah, Kaiju number 8 was... Okay. it's about a world where kaijus just, you know, show up and attack people all of the time, honestly. And they have a military organization organized for dealing with such events. Now, the main character wants to join it and such, and there's all these details going on, but what ends up happening is the guy ends up kind of becoming a kaiju himself, and he can change between kaiju form and non-kaiju form, and it's really good. It has really good visuals, and the music's great. It actually has some English opening and Indian sounds, which is interesting. I would find it more fun if they made the main character's kaiju was giant. Let me come back to that actually in just a minute. That reminds me of something. So, one of the things I do actually really like about Kaiju number 8 is they have this element of secrecy in it, because the main character has to keep this kaiju foam a secret, because it, you know, who knows what will happen if this unprecedented thing gets out. And this is actually something I really like seeing in, I was going to say anime, but that's wrong. In just stories in general. It's a fun, like, bit of, it's more like drama than anything else. It adds this fun drama of, can they keep it secret? Can they risk it and stuff when it's done right? I think I feel like I'm going to rate Kaiju number 8 here. So the one thing I kind of worry about Kaiju number 8 is I think it has a bright future, is almost what I want to say. I could see it becoming like an S-tier anime, but one thing I almost worry about when it got to the end of the season, we just have the one season, is that perhaps there's a chance we could end up with them minimalizing character development, which I hope in placing action scenes ahead of character development, which I think we have enough animes that place action ahead of character development. But A tier could be S tier. Now, really quick, coming back to that, Sans. It would be more fun if they made the main characters kaiju giant. There's actually a manga I read where there was a character like this who was part kaiju, but when she became a kaiju, she was giant, you know, skyscraper sized. Oh, what was that called? It was a rom-com one, which was fantastic. Because I mean, actually, it's pretty easy to see if you know the anime in this list that I do like some rom-coms. It was Kaiju Girl Kaumalize, I think, where when the main character, this girl, is in love, she becomes a kaiju, and it's an enormous kaiju and stuff. That was fantastic. That was a hilarious and fantastic one. I care about power scaling a lot. Oh, yeah. We have a couple in this with some good power scaling. I don't think we're getting to them immediately, because I want to get to one that I'm rating poorly next. So we're going one of... Kaiju number 8, I'll say right now, might be one of the top anime of the year. I'm rating it A because I'm a little skeptical about if they were going to ignore character development. But we're going for one of the top anime of this year. In my opinion, I suppose. It's not strictly true. And of all days, the chat doesn't want to work for me. To one of the... I mean, I got spoilers, but the next one is going to be one of the worst. In fact, I'm just going to stick it in the bottom category. Now, where is it? Where is it in the list? There it is. Okay, so this anime is... it's like God's games we play. I think that's what it's called. So, if you're a fan, and I'm a big fan, of the anime No Game No Life, then this anime is what? It's like I thought it would be No Game No Life at home. If you're unaware, No Game No Life is a fantastic isekai anime where the main characters are reincarnated into another world, and in that world everything is ruled by games. Like they play chess to determine this, and they play poker to determine the new king and stuff, and it's one of my all-time favorites. It's such a good one, partially because I really like board games and such. I thought this one, God's Games We Play, I think that's what it's called, would be that. It was not. It was not that at all. It's just not as good. Like, it has a lot of the same elements through playing games and stuff. And I really did watch some episodes of it. But it's just not as good. Like, they have some action scenes, some strategy game scenes and stuff. And it's like, ooh, sounds good. I just don't think it's turned out to actually be that great. This is someone saying this who likes the elements that it kind of has. Making it up. I'm still trying to get the chat working in between things, but it's not. How about we go with... What do we go with next? I think I should bring up something. Hey, Yagsath, how's it going? I think I should bring up that is something I didn't mention about our tier list today. We are doing any anime that was last year. There's some of these that didn't actually start last year. They started in the year before and finished their season last year instead. We have those in here. Freerun being one of them, for instance. I wish Underverse was a legit anime because it's better than most animes and it's you know what I wish was counted as an anime, but there's a bunch of people that don't count it as an anime. I wish Ruby was counted as an anime. But you know, some people just don't count it as one. But I know not everyone counts. Anyways, I mentioned it. Let's do it now. A Freerun. I think, and that's not where we're rating it. And I'm just putting it there for now, so it's in the central, in the spotlight. Freerun is currently the number 1 rated anime on the site My Anime List. Frieren is an anime, a fantasy anime about an elf and here adventuring party and how time changes things despite leaving this elf untouched. And it has some great action because like there's adventurers, there's warriors, there's mages, there's clerics. The mages use spells and stuff, and the warriors have great fighting capabilities and stuff. So it has some incredible action. It also does some incredible stuff with just touching characters in moments, touching character moments between like action things, and it has a really, I don't know, an incredible examination of the passage of time, because like this elf, she's unchanged after 100 years, but or something. But like it's the grandson of this person that she's talking to now when she's passing through this town as she passed through many years ago. It's... Oh, Sans, you have to go? Well, thanks for dropping by. I'm going to say I rate Frieren, I think A tier. It's like A tier or S tier. I do really like Frieren, but I don't know if it quite has what it would take for me to like just push it that extra bit to an S tier anime. Which feels so weird given that it's the #1 rated anime on my anime list. This is not me insulting it, saying it's an A tier anime, just so it's clear. You didn't complete your research and assignment on your favorite game, Yagsath. That's too bad. Yeah, I'll leave Frieren in A tier, which is weird. These are two incredible animes in A tier. I don't know what's going to push it to S tier. Okay, no, I know. Well, I know at least one in this list that will be S tier. Yeah. Okay. What do we do next? Let's go with... How about... Oh, it's so tough to decide. Let's go with this one. There's a very specific reason here. Okay, so this one is called... What is it? My Wife Has No Emotion. This is our first rom-com out of all of these. Oh, Yagsath. I feel for you. That's too bad. So it's My Wife Has No Emotion, and you might be able to tell it from that picture. It might be a bit too small though, but it's an anime about a rom-com between a guy, just a rather normal, average Japanese guy, and a robot. It's very interesting because it examines it from, I think, a different angle than a number of animes would. Oh no, a number of just shows, well, specifically animes. there's a lot of animes in general that would introduce like, this is a cyborg character. This is a robot, but and this robot is the guy's wife, and the robot, like, if you weren't told that it was a robot, you'd never know it, because the robot behaves just like a human and looks just like a human in 95% of ways. But the interesting thing with this one is she doesn't. She does look like a robot. She has metal on most of her body. And the big thing is, like, we rarely see much of what I would define as emotion. She does, in a sense, care for the main character, but not in the sense of emotion. And it's, I think, a unique examination of the concept of, I don't know, more advanced robots. There's other robots in it that act more emotional even, but not the main one. Now, the thing I need to bring up before I rate this one, I haven't finished the anime. I'm like halfway through it. I'm going to rate this highly, but I haven't even finished it. However, I have read like most of the source material. It's a fantastic manga. I read a ton of the manga, then found out it was coming out with an anime. I couldn't have been more pleased. I also think the animation is really well done in it. It's an 8 tier. I was either going to rate it 8 tier or S tier. I think 8 tier. Yeah, we'll go with 8 tier. I highly recommend, if you're looking for like a rom-com. Yeah, a rom-com about with a robot and sci-fi. Well, a tiny bit sci-fi. I don't know, feels like within the next 20 years there's a chance we could be there, who knows. Let's do we're moving on to another anime. We're moving on to let's do an action one. Which action one? I don't know which action one. Where's an action one? Where's an action one? Actually, here, yeah. GGO. Sold out online alternative gun game online. Whatever, I think that's what it's called. If you're unaware, this is a spin-off of the show Sold Out Online. Different characters, rarely does stuff from the main show come up. It's actually probably even watchable without ever even watching Sold Out Online. It is a great show. I'll just say that right out the bat. It is about characters playing virtual reality video games, and they're not trapped in the video game, unlike some anime. Unlike some, like the first one. And it's just kind of about, there's like some battle royales and this gun game that they play, and it's just a good show about characters in a video game fighting with guns and grenades and all sorts of stuff like that. Even some melee weapons and stuff. And it's, I'm going to say I just like it because it's like about video games, and it doesn't make it that complicated. Like, it's like these characters are playing video games, they're trying their best, and they like video games. I think it's a solid B tier anime. It's not. It's doesn't have like too much bad going for it. It doesn't have much of anything bad, and it's just good. I can recommend it if, I suppose, you're very specifically looking for that. There are better ones of like, oh, I want a fantasy video game. Well, there's plenty of better ones than that. I don't think there's much more for me to say about Gun Gale Online. This is the second season. I should say that. This is the second season that I'm tier listing here. Not the first. I watched the first years ago. Though I think, wait, did I? I think I rewatched the first season before I watched the second season this year. I might be wrong, but I think I'm right. I think I'm right here. Let's do... I don't know. What do we do next? Let's go with another one of the ones really quick that was just at the very start of the year, perhaps. I think we have two more in this list. This is one of them. Which was the other one? Was it Undead Unluck? I don't know. Will it do Apothecary Diary right now? Apothecary Diaries is a historical anime about... Actually, about a mad scientist, not exactly. The main character is an apothecary. She's this girl on the right in the image. That's pretty small, I suppose, on the stream. And she wants to be an apothecary. She wants to figure out medicines and poisons and all sorts of things along those lines. If it was up to her, she'd spend like all day. This is from my memory. If it was up to her, that would be most of all she'd do is figure out stuff with those. But she ends up getting kidnapped and sold to the Emperor's palace to work as a maid. And the story spirals from there with her meeting someone who works in the palace, and she ends up kind of being someone who solves stuff, from like some mysteries to some just problems to some actual apothecary related stuff. And I actually, she's got to be one of my favorite characters from this year of anime, because she's kind of a mad scientist. She performs poison experiments on herself. She's a big fan of poison, and I think this is our first S tier. It's a fantastic one, and I have to say right now, I think season 2 has started releasing, but I haven't gotten around to watching any. I need to get around to watching some of that, because I know it's very good. Very good. Alas, not yet. What do we rate next? It's just fantastic. If you like... I don't even know. It's good if you like mystery ones, or if you like sort of Chinese historical ones, or if you like dramas. Yeah, like mysteries, dramas, historicals. It's great. We'll bounce back to either a rom-com or an action one, because that's a lot of what I watch. Oh, how about both? I'll mention where this isn't where we're rating it, that's just where I'm putting it for now. Here is Dan Da Dan. Dan Da Dan is a show where the two main characters, one of them, this guy thinks ghosts are, no, aliens are real, and the girl thinks ghosts are real. They get in an argument, make bats around, if ghosts are real this, if aliens are real that, and they go to the two locations where the other one says that the thing will be, and they discover that both are real. Tries to get balls. Exactly. Things get complicated when they have to kind of fight these paranormal phenomenon, and it is an insane show. It's like madness, especially like I watched the first episode and then I was just like, what was this? I didn't know whether it was great or crazy, too wild. But after I watched like one or two more episodes, I'm like, okay, this is really good. And I finished the season. There is, okay, it is an S tier. It has fantastic animation. And another thing, it actually, I think, also has really good music. There's this, yeah, I mean, I guess this is kind of spoilers, but I love this part that they actually have a classical remix, where they remix a classical song for the anime, and it just works perfectly in the scene. The one bad thing about this, I will warn you, if you listen to this now and watch this, it ends on a cliffhanger. I know, it's terrible. It ends on a cliffhanger. The whole season ends on a cliffhanger. However, we're getting season 2 like this summer, which just a few months off before we get season 2. But still, it ends on a cliffhanger. I might have to actually read the manga. Maybe I'll wait for season 2, then do the manga after season 2. I don't know. This is something I'm really a little bit conflicted about trying to decide. But it's so good. It's so good. Where do we go next? Let's go. Let's do Metallic Rouge. Okay, Metallic Rouge is... What is Metallic Rouge? Okay, so I'm going to say I haven't finished this one. And, okay, wait, can I read a bit of its description? Because I don't think I could give this a proper description. I'm skipping part of its description. Rouge and Naomi's mission is to eliminate the immortal 9 proto-neons who threaten humanity for cryptic reasons. At the same time, an investigator is making his way to Mouse to follow a series of murders where Rouge is considered the prime suspect. I don't think that really explains it. Okay, so it's a show where one of the characters is a robot, and she... If people don't know she's a robot, it's a very hard to tell she's one, and she can kind of transform. It's sort of... I don't know if it counts as a mecha anime. It's kind of... I don't know. There's a number of these robots that can transform, getting this, like... I don't know, power suits. And they one of the main characters is one of such robots, and she's hunting down these other robots, and it's a sci-fi future where you can go to different planets and stuff, and I think it's just within the solar system or something. And yeah, I'm going to say I kind of really liked it an episode or two in, even like 3 or 4, but then I started kind of getting bored of it. It started losing my attention, and thus I haven't finished it. I should finish it, I think, sometime. I don't know. I'm going to say it's rated as a C tier anime. I don't think it's horrible. I don't know. It's a kind of weird one in some ways. The animation, if I'm remembering right, was pretty good. Mix strong stimulants with depressants, you make a heart attack potion. Oh, you may... maybe is it a heart attack poison? Yeah, so Metallic Rouge, I'd have to finish it. I don't think it's one of the better animes I've seen this year. That's part of the reason I haven't gotten to finishing it. I don't think it's as bad as this one. This would be worth my time finishing, but I also see it's rated ranked number 8,848 on my anime list. I kind of feel like it's a bit better than that rating, but I don't know. What do we rank next? Let's rank the amusing one that I didn't know there was such a thing as an anime like this. This is... So, the full name. I can never remember the full name on this one. It's Dr. Elise, the Royal Lady with the Lamp. I honestly have no idea what this lamp has to do with anything. Oh, okay. So there's a little information I should say before we go into this one. This is what I would classify as... Okay. No, actually, I'll come back to what I was about to say. This is essentially like a medical drama anime. Like, you know, there are these medical drama shows out there. I don't really watch them myself. I think there's like Doctor House, and there's... Is it Grey's Anatomy? I've heard of these ones. I know people who have watched them. I haven't watched them myself, but this is a medical drama anime, which is just... I didn't know that was a thing, but apparently it is. Yeah, well, I don't know if this is exactly the twist on it. So it's a medical drama anime combined with another genre that I at least I call the villainous subgenre, and we actually have more villainous animes in this list of mine because I like the subgenre. It is I don't know exactly how to define the subgenre, but it's oftentimes isekai or reincarnation related, but not always one or the other. Sometimes it's only one of those, and oftentimes the character is like an evil villainous before after they get reincarnated, and then they try to either be less or more villainous depending on the anime, and this is just one of those where she was kind of an evil character before she was reincarnated, and then she's trying to be a doctor. But that I didn't even rate it. I actually think it's a solid B tier anime. If you like villainous animes and you like so either you like villainous animes or you like medical dramas, I guess, then Dr. Elise is a good one. Yeah. Anyways, let me take a drink before we move on. I still don't know why chat just refuses to woke today. I mean, for that matter, I don't know why chat refuses to woke other days. But it's not working today. Maybe it'll work now? I just changed something? We'll see. Okay. So, Dr. Elise. Beat here. Oh, what's next? Ooh, can we? Chat, come on. Please, woke. No, it's not. I'd try switching scenes that I have here in my streaming setup, but last time I did, my stream crashed, so I'm not doing that, even though that could get the chat woken. The chat woken with it crashing is actually not a positive. So, we have... And so did I ever start the Twitch part of the stream? I did. I realized I never checked. Let's go with... Oh, there's so many I want to talk about. We'll get to all of them, right? Yeah. We just did one that wasn't an action one, so let's go back and do an action one here. How about it? Oh, perfect. Solo leveling. Okay. Solo leveling. Part of the reason I say perfect is the second season of it is starting, I think, right now. Solo leveling is an action anime, as I mentioned. It's an interesting one where in a way it's like some video game elements are like suddenly applying to the real world, but not in a good way, in a way that gets people killed. Like, so there are suddenly now like dungeons and raids and stuff in the real world, and they have to send real people in to kill the monsters, or the monsters will come out of these portals and attack the real world, and the people that they send into these to fight the monsters are people who have awakened with these powers since this started happening. And this all started happening in some like recent years, somewhat in modern times anyways. I don't remember exactly how long ago. But the main character is the weakest. He's extremely weak, and I'm not really going to go into the details because it would be spoiling what is honestly a fantastic story. But something happens to him that allows him. Yeah, this isn't really spoilers. It's in the name. Something happens to him that lets him and only him to level up and to get stronger, whereas all of these other people are stuck at the kind of strength they were at originally. So he's out becoming not the weakest, and it is a very interesting show, partly because there's like some call for secrecy because he tries to hide this, and also because it's kind of dark. People, I don't want to spoil. The action in this one is incredible. It's up there among the best this year. Oh yeah, it came out this year. I saw the movie for this just like 3 or so weeks ago, maybe longer. I'm not sure exactly. I saw the movie for this. The movie was interesting because like half of it was recapping the first season, and then half of it was just a single arc from the second season, which if I'd known all that, I probably wouldn't have watched it in the theaters. But I also don't regret going to see it in the theater because it was actually just really good, because recapping a really good thing is still a really good thing. I think it's S tier. Is it? It's either S tier. No, it's A tier. Yeah, it's A tier. I'm not putting it up at S tier, but it is A tier. It's A tier. It's really good. It has some really good action. I look forward to seeing where the anime goes. And I look forward to watching more of the second season. I need a drink, just a second. So we have... what do we rate next? Let's get another one of the... Let's do this one. This is a silly one. This is one called, like... Oh, I don't remember its full name. It's I Purry Everything. It's about a main character who kind of becomes overpowered. He becomes very overpowered, but like the one ability he has in a combat, and this is one of those like pure fantasy role. It's no isekai element, but they throw in like some game elements for whatever reason. Well, sort of. There's like skills people learn, and the only skill he really ever learns, I mean he learns some skills, but the main skill he learns is how to parry things. And you know, he kind of parries things better than anyone else. Unfortunately, he also queries, not intelligence, but he's a dunce guy, and he has some selective understanding, which makes for some good comedy, though I do agree with what I've seen some people say online, where sometimes the show kinda takes it a touch too far with his selective understanding, his dunceness. People tell him this and he's like, no. We want to reward you. He's like, no, I don't need a reward. No, thank you. It's nothing spectacular in, like, really any regard that I can think of, but it's also not bad. It's one of those ones where if you just want to see a new overpowered fantasy character do their thing, fight things, surprise people with their strength, and you don't have one to watch, it's not a bad one. It's staying right where I put it there in a B tier. What next? I'm not sure. Let's do one of the asterisk animes, which I haven't mentioned yet. And I'm not saying an anime named asterisk, it's one of... There's a handful of animes on this list that come with an asterisk with their rating, which I will now explain. So this is Oshinoko Season 2. I would love to get to watching this. I have not. Why is it on the list if I haven't watched it? Because I've read the full material that the entire season draws from the manga. I'm not quite up to date with I'm probably a good handful of issues behind on the manga, but I have certainly seen everything that this season will pull from. So I'm just going to say, I'm going to rate this based off my knowledge of this. The first season of the anime, and how I still intend to watch the second season, but I haven't gotten around to it. And to be clear, funny enough, the reason I haven't gotten around to it is because I have read the source material. You'll actually see this with a couple of the other ones here, where there's a few animes in this list that I haven't watched, and only a couple, but I haven't watched them because I've read the source material, and it's like, because of that, like, I know what's going to happen in them, so I just don't feel as strong of a pull to see the story. It's an A-tier anime. Yeah, I wanted to put it in S. Totally because what's coming up later would be an S-tier anime. I really look forward to certain things coming up after this season, and I'll probably catch up at some point. How do I even... I've been explaining what every anime is about here. How to even start with season 2? Okay, I'm going to give a little... I'm going to keep this vague. So, Oshinoko is a series that is kind of about the dark side of the Japanese entertainment industry, specifically focusing on the acting side of the industry, as well as the idol culture and that side of the industry. There's a character who's an idol, there's a character who's an actor, there's more characters who are things. There's also even other, there's all sorts of things along those lines. So this is the dark side of the Japanese entertainment. And there, I'm going to say, it's fantastic. There's amazing drama. Oh, really good drama in it. But, if you're not one for dark and creepy stuff, it's probably not one for you either. Because at least in my opinion, it gets, and this isn't in a supernatural way, but in like a really real human way. There are some dark moments in the show when people go through dark and dramatic things. It has to be one of the best dramas that I've seen in recent times. That have released recently in recent years, that I've seen in recent times. How about we go with that? Because there have been some older anime dramas I've seen that are perhaps better. And I'm just saying flat out dramas. Now, there's some that are other mixes of drama and this or drama and that. Let's go with rating this next. This is an anime called Mysterious Disappearances. Mysterious. I'm pulling it up, and yeah, I went to pull it up on this website. My anime list too. Yeah, okay, yeah, I got its name right. That's one of the big things I wanted to check. It is an interesting one. It's actually, funny enough, it's kind of similar to the game we've been playing, Lobotomy Cope, in that Mysterious Disappearances is about these strange supernatural phenomenon and kind of investigating them, tracking them down, stopping them. And they're a lot of times related to like folk tales and maybe urban legends a bit. And it is, honestly, I found it quite creepy at times. It's a thriller, I think. Let me check. No, its genres are mystery, supernatural, ecchi, I guess. It has some interesting main characters. I wanted to go too much into the main characters here myself. Apparently the ending of it, they differed from the source material, and I can see how, without even knowing how the source material is. I believe they cut it short compared to the source material, which I'm not a big fan of, in a way. I guess it means we'll never get another season of it. I quite liked it. I feel like I'm just leaving it at B tier. It's very good for like a supernatural one. It does have its flaws, I think. No, maybe it's 8. No, I look what we have in A tier, and I don't think it's as good as those. I think it's B tier. But it's good. I'd highly recommend it if you like creepy supernatural stuff. Let's do something else. I mean, well, let's rate another. How about it? We will rate Dahlia in a Bloom, crafting a new stout with magic tools. I think that's its name. So, the main character in this one is, and I'm not making this up, this is her profession. She is an artificer. She is, like, I mean, that's like one of my favorite things, artificers. But that's specific. I'm not even calling her that. The anime calls her that. And it is fantastic. She crafts magic tools. She invents magic tools. She sells them. And it's a fantasy story. Not really big on action. I feel like there's an action scene somewhere in it. Maybe? I think maybe there's one. It's more about her inventing magical tools and stuff. I think it was an isekai. I think she's technically from our world. It does not come up much. And it's also a bit of a, has some villainous sub-themes, where she gets, like, her engagement cancelled, and that kind of kicks off the story, and that's a common theme in the villainous sub-genre. It is, I couldn't rate it S tier, but I think I can rate this A tier. It's really, I love it. She's an artificer. She's going about inventing magic tools. It is very similar to, oh, not similar? Maybe that's the wrong word. It is very reminiscent of one of my favorite, Japanese-related, anime-related stories, and that's Ascendance of a Bookworm. Which I just finished the very last book in the series today. I'm sad now, because that's the end of the series of Bookworm. But, Dahlia in Bloom, similar in both series. There's things, people dealing with merchants and selling inventions and stuff, and I won't go into some things about Bookworm because spoilers. I could spoil. I won't spoil. Dahlia and Bloom, anything else to say about it? It's A tier. It's good. It's good. Yeah. I highly recommend it. Funny enough, I wasn't like too enthralled with it, but I liked it. I really liked it, but I didn't feel much pressure to actually continue watching episode to episode. I don't know, just a weird quality about it. So, next up. Let us rate. Yeah, let's rate this one. So this is Vampire Dormitories, I think. Is that what it's called? Vampire Dormitory? Let me double check. Vampire Dorm... No, just Vampire Dormitory. It is kind of a classic shoujo... A classic shoujo romance story. If you've seen many shoujo romances, which I don't know if I've seen that many, but I've seen a good handful. Yeah, I've seen some. It has some very, I don't know, very tropey. Some actual things that make it stand out. Well, even though these aren't standing out too much. It's a vampire love polygon one. The main character, she cross dresses people think she's a boy for most of it. And it's I actually think, and I started the series, seemed like a fantastic concept. I think the execution of the concept, however, was really poor. Which is incredibly unfortunate. Because it actually had a tremendous amount of potential, I think. Okay, let me actually explain a piece of the story. The story is focused around the idea that every vampire has one person who's their one true love out there or something, and the vampire in it looking for the person, and it could be the main character, except no wait, from his perspective it cannot, because this is a boy, not a woman, and it's just like it has some I don't know. It's turned out to be, I don't know, mediocre. I think it's our second seat here. It had some good concepts. It did. It did not execute. The how to put it, the execution was bad because the pacing was terrible. They had a lot of what felt like needless drama with no reason behind the drama. Yeah, I think that's all I need to say about it. Okay, I think we're half done. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20. We were almost halfway there. Okay, some of these aren't going to take too long. Actually, we're going to tier list one that is very similar and very different. This is actually a shonen romance. And so this one's called McCann. Too many losing in heroines, I think. Yep, just pulled it up. That's exactly what it's called. It's a comedy romance at school, and it's about the main character. I don't know, he keeps meeting these girls who their crushes go out with someone else, and thus they're the in its title, they're the losing heroine. It's kind of if they're in a concept, it's sort of there's, you could almost see it as being that there are these other anime stories over here and here and here, and this girl is one of the 3 main characters of this anime. This one is one of them, of that one and that one, and these girls all don't get picked by the boy in their story, and they become friends with the random boy in our story. And at the start, I actually found it very good and very unique. But I think as the show went, it just kind of became a more generic, less special. It actually has astonishing animation, I think, for what's just a simple romance anime. That's it. I think it's a C tier. Oh, I should note I have like two and a half episodes left of it. I haven't finished it because I just got so bored of it. I actually think I'm going to finish it. I will actually finish this one. Unlike, for example, our D tier anime. But I haven't gotten to finishing it yet, is the thing. Yeah. Anywho. Let me take a drink. And the reason I say that's similar to Vampire Dormitory is because it's like both of them I liked them a lot more in the concept at the start of the anime, and just my how much I liked them just kind of fell off as things went. And the funny thing is, this one's just ranked way higher on the website than Vampire Dormitory. Okay, anyways, moving on to one that's... Let's do one that I'm more interested to actually talk about. Which would be what? What am I talking about? Let's go with Mission Yozakura Family. Is that what it's called? Yoza. Just a second. Yeah, Mission Yozakura Family. So this one. Actually, I think that's exactly where we were putting it. I was going to get. That's not. But the spoilers. That's where it's going. Mission Yozakura Family is an anime about the main character kind of gets accidentally sort of into a situation where he's forced to marry the other main character, and like you can kind of see him in this picture with the red hair. He marries this girl with the blue hair, and the way it goes is she's the head of a family of spies, and there are all these other spies in the family, and it's an action comedy at its core, and the spies in this are like incredible. They in the family specifically, they all have a very specific strengths that they're really good at. Like there's the hacker and the disguise expert and like weapons expert, and some of the others are a little more difficult to describe. But yeah, there's all these different spies, and the main character, who is mirroring into the family, has to, actually learn to become a spy to join them. And I'd say that's the initial hook. Things take some tunes as the show goes. And I'm going to say, for the most part, with possibly a single exception of one of the characters in the immediate family, the family's all delightful. It's fantastic getting to know these siblings and the family and their strengths as spies, and the main character growing and learning from them, and even maybe having a positive effect on them as well. Some of them perhaps even learning from, I was going to say normal old him, but he's maybe not exactly normal, even though in some ways he is. This one is fantastic. Oh, is it even an S tier? Ooh. It could be. I'm leaving it an A tier though. So I am thinking of I'm actually thinking of reading its manga. Which funny thing I say this because I think its manga ended last week. I think its last chapter released. I just saw it mentioned in some unrelated comment sections that the Mission Yozakura ending. Yeah, it's a spy action comedy. It places so the big spy show lately in anime is Spy X Family. This one's much more action than Spy X Family. Action is much more at the forefront of Mission Yozakura Family. I'll say that. They have a number of similarities, but action is way more important, more in the forefront of this one. Okay, what shall we rate next? Okay, let's rate one of our asterisks again. Oh, also there's some supernatural elements to Mission Yozakura Family. I will say, at the start of the show, we do not see much of that, but as the show goes, you kind of do see some more of the supernatural elements, and it makes the combat more exciting as we get those involved in it. Okay, what are we rating? We're rating one of our asterisk anime, as I said. We have 2 left, I think. Yes. This one. Okay, so this is 7th Time Loop Villainous. Yeah, there it is. Okay, sorry, I wanted to pull up its page because that is not its actual name, that's just what I call it. So it's called 7th Time Loop. The villainess enjoys a carefree life married to her worst enemy. I haven't watched any of the anime. Not a single bit. I have read a number of the light novels. Oh, this one. And as such, I feel like if the anime is as good as the light novels, I can recommend this with flying colors, but I just haven't gotten to recommend watching the anime. Because, I don't know, I already know the story. And there's all of these other animes that I want to watch sometime. That I just haven't gotten to watching. But maybe someday I'll get to watching 7th Time Loop Villainous. I already mentioned that I like villainous animes. So it's either an A tier or S tier. We'll see what in a minute. Let me explain the premise real quick. So the premise is that the main character, and you can see her centrally in that picture, though it's pretty small. The main character of this one is her engagement to her, I think, like Duke fiance is ended publicly, and she's shamed and disowned, and then she goes on to leave her family and life behind and become a trader, and 5 years later she dies. End of story. No, that's not where the story ends, because it's 7th Time Loop Villainous. She keeps going back to this time that her engagement is broken and she's shamed and disowned, and she keeps like going on to do something else in her life. She becomes like a maid in one, a knight in one, a hunter in one, an alchemist in another. I cannot remember all of the time loops, but and through this she actually acquires quite the number of skills. But in her 7th time loop, it's different because her worst enemy, a certain prince, proposes to her, and this is just how that time loop goes. I don't know like how far the anime gets, so I have no idea what's even spoilers, so I don't think I can say anymore. This is actually making me want to watch the anime, just talking about it. Who's in the picture here? Oh, I think I know some of the characters in the pictures. I mean, no, I do know. We'll leave it at A tier. A tier asterisk, haven't actually seen the anime. Okay, let's do... And I have no idea how much action they include in the anime. She can fight. She was a knight at one point. She knows how to fight. Anyways, let's talk about the unwanted undead adventurer. This is an interesting one. This is a fantasy anime about an adventurer who delves into a dungeon and villainous animes are always a hit for me. That sounds pretty fun and wholesome. It's so good. The book anyways. Also, one reason I haven't gotten to watching it is they don't... So I watch some animes subbed in with Japanese, some dubbed into English. I find it easier to watch one dubbed into English because I can watch it while doing something else. And like, I'd prefer, if I'm watching one that I already know the story of, if I can watch it while I make a thumbnail for a live stream, which is something I often do, is I watch an anime while I make a thumbnail for a live stream. But if it's in a Japanese, I have to actually have my eyes on the captions, and that makes it harder for me. Okay, and I actually want to watch some more villainous and we have at least one more villainous anime in this list here. Yeah, one more. Okay, The Unwanted Undead Adventurer. This is a fantasy anime about a guy who dies. He gets killed by a big monster in the dungeon that he didn't think he'd run into. He's like a veteran adventurer, but he never actually got that good at being an adventurer. He's just done it for a while. And he dies. And becomes a skeleton. The unusual thing is usually skeletons aren't self-aware. He wasn't a thrall. And there's this whole thing that I think I've seen in some other animes. Like, actually, wait, was this other anime this year? Wait, I think it would be on this list. I thought it was this year. No, it was last year, I guess. Okay, so never mind that other anime. Wait, was Undead Unwanted Adventure this year? I feel like it was last year, honestly. Just a second, let me check. Wait, Undead Unluck was... oh, wait, no, it was this year and last year. It was at the start of... end of... Let me check this one, because I feel like this one was actually last year. No, it was this year. Okay, yeah. The whole deal with it is that the guy can actually... He's a skeleton. But he can kind of evolve as an undead by, I think it was by killing more monsters. He can go from a skeleton to a more powerful undead, and his hope is to become an undead that can pass as human. You can see he's like completely covered up, cloak and mask and stuff there, and it's kind of about him. It's an anime kind of about him simultaneously learning to deal with this transformation into an undead, as well as him actually using the new capabilities that this transformation has bestowed upon him. Yeah, it's B tier. It's fun. Nothing outstanding about it. I don't think there's anything else to say about it either. It's similar to So I'm a Spider, so what then? It definitely sounds engaging. I have heard so many good things about So I'm a Spider, so what? My arachnophobia. I don't think I could watch it. But I've heard so many good things, and I even have it on my list of animes to watch, but I always skip over it because I'm scared of spiders. I even thought about reading the books for it, but yeah. I might have to try it someday, but it's like I don't like like even like talking about spiders too much will make me start like glancing around the room. Just there's no spider on the ceiling, right? No, no, okay. Yeah, just checking. Anyways, let's rate another anime. Shall we do one that's good, one that's bad? Let's do one that's mediocre, but I don't know. Let's do yeah, this one's what we're going to do. What is the name of this one? What is the name of this? Wait. Oh no. This was the oh no. D tier is looking lonely. Yeah. I'm not sure if we have anything else for D tier. We have at least one more C tier, I think. But I don't know if we have anything else that's genuinely D tier. Because oftentimes, you know, I watched like half of this one, but oftentimes for other shows that I would count as D tier, I wouldn't watch as much as half of it. I'd stop watching it too soon for me to even consider putting it on this list. What is this one called? I need to actually look up its name because I cannot remember its name. I think it was, let's see, Spring sounds right. Where is this one? Not Spring. I don't see it here. Winter? Okay, yeah, there it is. What is this one called? Come on. The foolish angel dances with the devil. It's kind of, I'm going to say it right now. It's kind of a mediocre anime, but it's one of those whole kind of star-crossed lovers romance one. Has a little bit of action in it. Mostly it's a romance comedy one, because the guy in it is a devil, the girl in it is an angel, and they're sworn enemies, and they have to fight. It does do some interesting stuff with subverting our expectations of what both a devil and an angel is, which I do find interesting. This one... It's a C tier, I think. I don't regret watching it. And if you're someone who really likes star-crossed lover sort of things, it's good for that. But it's also just not, like, fantastic. Anything else to say about it? I don't think so. I feel like everything else is just kind of implied by what yeah, we're going to move on from that one. I clearly talk more about the ones I'm more excited about. Okay, let's do this. The Witch and the Beast. This one is... Okay, I'll come right out and say it's fantastic. The Witch and the Beast is fantasy... What level of technology do they have? They do not have modern technology. They have... what, like... earlier... it's not... Maybe it's industrial era. Maybe it's sometime in the 1900s. Sometime within the past century, but not modern technology. Yeah, I'm not sure exactly what technology level, but yeah. The Witch and the Beast is certainly a hardcore title, and it is a hardcore anime. It gets really dark. I'm actually going to say, the interesting thing with this one is I read about one volume of the manga, I think a couple years ago, or something, a while back, and then the anime came out, and I'm like, oh right, I read one volume of the manga, and the thing that stood out to me is, hey, this is the one that I stopped reading because I got to that one page in the volume of the manga or something, maybe in the second volume of the manga, that I just went, that puts a chill down my spine. I can't read anymore. I'm too creeped out. So, you know, it's one that gets creepy at times. What to actually say about what the story is? It's a story about... this is kind of spoilers for the very first episode. Yeah, that's a glowing recommendation for anything that's horror adjacent. I agree. Do I spoil the first episode? I might. Let me think for a moment. One of the characters is cursed by a witch. There's 3 ways to undo a witch's curse. 2 of them are widely known. I won't spoil what the 3rd one is. One of them is true love's kiss. She's not looking for true love's kiss. One of them is find the witch who bestowed the curse on you, and, you know, what was it, like, make them take it back, and do it. And there's a third that comes up in the first episode, and I could spoil, but it's honestly not worth spoiling here because Guido, the blonde girl who is cursed, she needs to find a very powerful witch, an incredibly powerful witch, to undo her curse. She is working with an organization who the other main character works for, but she kind of doesn't work as fully with them as the other main character. And the other main character is a mage, and he works with this like super like almost like secret organization that deals with mages and magic stuff and such, and it really fascinating world building. At first I thought it was set in our world. No, I think in like the last episode we even like get a world map. No, it's nothing like our world. Even though it feels similar technologically and feels similar culturally to some things. No. Oh, what? Ooh. Oh, thank you, Ritsu. Thanks for the raid. Welcome, everyone. We are currently doing an anime tier list of the animes that, that I watched last year. Welcome. Okay, a couple of these I didn't watch, and there's reasons they're on the tier list despite me not watching them, but I went over them earlier, and I'll go over any similar exceptions later when I get to them. But yeah. Welcome. I like doing this is like part of my New Year's review, New Year's celebration at the moment. Like we did a tier list a few weeks ago of all the games that I played last year on a stream, and now we're doing a tier list of all the animes I watched. Well, not on a stream, off stream. And I feel like it's a fun way to go over the cool stuff from last year. I talked about why Kaiju number 8 was A tier and not S tier. I think it could be an S tier later on, but I need to see more of it. The reason it's A tier and not S tier is I have worries, concerns that there's a chance they might just neglect to do proper character development. Like I do have this slight worry that as the show goes, they might go, we'd rather focus on the action and character development is less important. If they do that, it's staying in the A tier. But if they do focus on some proper character development, I could see it moving up to S tier. I mean, it was fantastic. But anyways, we're talking about The Witch and the Beast right now. This is not where it's rated. I just put them up in like the middle B tier while I'm talking about them before I have rated them. The Witch and the Beast. Yeah, it's fantastic world building. Fantastically dark. Fantastically creepy at times too. And I really like some of the main characters. There's also one of the side characters that I'm hoping kind of becomes my main character later on. I might read more of the Witch and the Beast manga too sometime. The manga was really good and creepy. Also, chat isn't working again today, where we just have Twitch chat showing up above my head, but for some reason the YouTube chat is not. I don't know why. Last anime series I watched is Assassination Classroom. Well, that would be a solid S tier anime. That one's incredible. I think I'm rating The Witch and... Oh, maybe? Okay, I'm going to say... Okay, yeah, The Witch and the Beast is S tier. There's... I don't want to say the exact reason, but there is something in the anime that I'm like... is like one of my storytelling weaknesses. One of a certain thing in the anime, but it's like spoilers. I can't really. I don't. Yeah, I don't think I can say what it is, but it's one of my weaknesses when it comes to like storytelling and such. And no, I can't say anymore. The Witch and the Beast is one of the S tiers from last year. Okay, let's go over one that's not an S tier. Let's go over one that's a bit lower. That would be... I just finished this one recently. Like, within the last week. This is called... No Longer Allowed in Another World, I believe. And No Longer Allowed in Another World is an anime about... It's an isekai, but it's a little bit of a unique twist. I don't think, in some ways, enough of a unique twist. But it's an anime about Osamu Dazai. If you don't know who that is, it's you could be familiar with Osamu Dazai if you've seen Bango Stray Dogs. Fantastic one. But Osamu Dazai is, I think, a poet and author who famously committed double suicide. A real person, though. In this anime, he got reincarnated. He actually, it's hilarious. They go right along with the trope. He and the woman he's trying to commit double suicide with both get hit by a truck and get reincarnated. And that's what does he want to do? Well, he wants to find that woman and commit double suicide with her again, successfully. Yeah, he's who he is. The anime kind of, I would say it follows some tropes, but it also does a good job of subverting some tropes in interesting ways. It's interesting because it's like, oh, in this world, everyone who gets isekai'd, and there's actually quite a few people who get isekai'd into this world, get a power and stuff, and it's like, oh, what's his power? Nothing. He does actually have something, but they don't know. They can't tell. I don't think I want to say anything about his actual power, but he's not a fighter. Even with his power, he doesn't fight people. He doesn't get in battles. There are other characters who get in battles, and we have some neat action scene. It's nothing like groundbreaking action or eyes, But we have some neat action scenes. The interesting thing is there's a number of plot points that don't come down to who is stronger or who's faster or who has the more powerful magic, because with Osamu Dazai in Evolved, it's more, it's tough to describe. It's more thoughtful. He looks at these different angles out of it, and he's not trying to be a hero, but he does cause some change in some people, and he does almost inadvertently cause some good things to happen to people. And it's also really comedic. There's more mind games. Not that much. Not compared to some, but there's some things like it's more like it becomes about why is this person. It's less about how to stop this person from being evil, and more about why did this person become evil. It's more like, yeah, it's a B tier. I'm leaving it right there where it is. It's a good isekai anime with some interesting trope subversions. It was another one I kept up to date with. Like some of these in this list, I watched every episode as they came out. That one, like, I watched some, put it off for a number of weeks, watched some. So yeah, it's just a beat here. Next up, we will rate, I don't know. How about Classroom of the Elite Season 3? How feels weird to rate Season 3 of an... I wonder, maybe in the future when I do this list, maybe I don't rate... I don't know. It feels weird to, like, Season 1, oh, Season 3. I don't know. I'm going to have to consider if I want to do it the same later, like this. I'm not sure. So Classroom of the Elite. I guess I have to talk about what Classroom of the Elite is originally. It is... I guess how to say this without spoilers? It is a mind games anime where the characters are all in this elite school, the best school in Japan, and it's about this guy who scored like perfectly average across his tests, and he in the worst classroom in the school, and he's like, he's got this really bold expression, and the classroom he's in, they want to move up to move their classroom rank up and such, and because it's like if they do well in this school, they'll be guaranteed like great jobs outside of the school and great stuff like that, you know. It's an important school, and it's a show about kind of strategy and mind games, and like the tests in the school are unconventional, sort of philosophical prisoner dilemma sort of stuff, and it's not just straightforward. How well do the characters do in a normal written test? You know, there's strategies they do as a class and individually, and there's something that I won't spoil. I mean, we're rating season 3 here, which already tells you that I like this show because we're rating season 3. Huh. I've seen the first 2 seasons. It feels like so long since I've seen a season 3. What well as in a season 3. I'm just going to rate it 8 here. I can't remember exactly what the events of the season were though. I remember season 1 now and 2. Oh, I remember where season 2 culminated. Season 3. Oh yes, season 3 was more about a certain character. Okay, yeah. It's S tier. It's S tier if you know, by the end of season 1 you appreciate the main character for who he is, which not everyone would. But I'm not going to say any more about the main character. You'll have to find out what the main character's like yourself. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. We're like, what, 2/3 of the way done? And I'm like, out of Watu? Yeah, I think we're going to need to take a quick break for me to get a refill of Watu. Then we will, continue our tier listing. Yeah, we have some good ones left here. We actually have some really good ones left. Okay, yeah, be right back. No need to go anywhere. We're going to be talking some more anime after this. Oh. Alright, we're back. We're back. We're going to continue our tier list we've been doing. As you would expect. Oh, but that wasn't too long. What do we have? We have a whole number of animes to tier list. Let's go with... Okay, let's go with Spice and Wolf. So, this is the remake of Spice and Wolf. Spice and Wolf, well, of course, Spice and Wolf came out a number of years back. How many years ago? When did the original Spice and Wolf came out? I've seen the original Spice and Wolf, and in a sense, this is giving away that I do like this one, since I saw the original and I've now seen the remake. The original is super highly rated. Came out in 2008. Spice and Wolf is kind of a romance anime about what? About a trader and a wolf guard, and the how to put it? In a way, it's a show about medieval economics, and it's like, oh, that doesn't sound fun, but no, it's incredible. It's like, I don't know, it's a show where they go from town to town, buying stuff, selling stuff, some drama goes on, some romance happens between the two. It's a slow burn, and there's interesting things that come up, and I'm not going to do them justice right here. Like how it's like, oh, this coin made about in this area is made with this percent of this amount of silver, while the coin over there is made with this amount, and they're reminting this coin. Should we buy a bunch of that coin? Should we sell? And and it's like, they make this medieval economics actually really interesting. I don't, but they do. They make this medieval economics interesting, and it's like, oh, the price of what was it? Pyrite is an important thing at one point in the story, and it's like, ooh, and oh, we can buy weapons and sell them at this other town since we sold this, and it's interesting. This is going to sound weird, but I really find actually Mo these days, medieval economics and medieval politics in shows and stories to be really interesting, because there's some interesting things that go on with medieval economics and politics. The kind of show where it doesn't sound interesting, but the writing is engaging. I think so. Also, I think this remake of the original. I think this remake of the original is better than the original. The animation, oh, they went in on the animation. The animation's good in this one. I also know this one season we have adapts like the same amount as the 2 seasons of the original anime, and we're going to get more adapted as well. So this remake is going further than the original did in the same story. The original didn't adapt the full story. And I also think we might get the series that comes after it. I might even read the light novels of this. This is an S-tier anime. Also, the English voice acting is great. Has a few of my favorite English voice actors. And my taste is maturing. Well, I maybe, but I've also found some of the stuff interesting, but it might be more that I'm finding better places to explore that interest, like Spice and Wolf and Ascendance of a Bookworm, in my opinion, as well, and stuff like that. I don't know. Speaking of economics, let's rate Sasaki and Peeps. This is an interesting one. Is it? I feel like it has the tag of isekai on it. Sasaki and Peeps. Let me pull it up. This is a weird one. This is one where like everything happens in this. Yeah, it has the isekai theme on my anime list. So okay, the concept is that there's this salaryman in Japan. He likes cute animals. He goes to the pet store and gets a Star Sparrow from the pet store. He brings it home, and it has some words for him. Yeah, it turns out the bird is a reincarnated, like, I don't remember what the exact Star Sage. That's what they say. It's like an alchemage of sorts, a very powerful, like a wizard from another world. But it's a bird, and that's the character who's been isekai'd. The beard. And the beard has magic and can teach this guy magic and can bring them back to the beard's original world, and time moves differently between the worlds, and they get into all sorts of hijinks. They sell stuff from Japan in the other world, and they go back to Japan, back and forth, and they even run into some supernatural stuff in Japan, like, oh, what was it, like Aspers or something, and even magical girls, and all sorts of trouble and hijinks in both worlds, and it is good. Could be better. Actually, looking at this website, it's people don't rate it very highly. I think it's better than these people have rated it. I think it's B tier. I don't feel like I have a lot to say about it either. It is one where a lot happens, and I do think this is one that is easy to lose track of characters and well, of like the chaos that happens in it. But it's good. It is good. It also has a little bit of that like economics stuff in it. Okay, let's move on though. Okay, let's go with something like villainous that goes down in history. I'll be a villainous that goes down in villain. I think there it is. What's it called? What's the full title of this one? It's I'll Become a Villainess Who Goes Down in History. I love me a good villainous anime. We have like several on this list. I love them, and it is the character gets reincarnated into here. Into an otome game world, and she's the villainess, and she wants to be the best at being the villainess. So like she even like practices at being a villainess. She tries to outsmart her bad end. She doesn't want to get to the bad end, but she puts on the ears of a villainess and she like enters into this scene and tries her best to put, and she does well. There are villainous animes where the characters who is the villainess is like, oh wait, this character is supposed to be a villainess? What? I'm not seeing it. But no, in this, yeah, she does. She does well. I actually, wait, now that I'm thinking about it, I think I have one episode left in this to watch. I could be wrong. I think I have one episode left. I can't think of... I've been watching this one recently. This is one of the ones on this list that I've been watching recently. I feel like I should have more to say about it. Let me check its description here. It has some interesting stuff with the main heroine of the game that she's reincarnated into the story of. I don't know yeah, I need to finish this. I don't know exactly what's going on with the main heroine. She seems weird. There's something weird going on with her. And if I'm not careful, I'm going to say something spoilery. The main heroine, I think, would be classified as maybe the antagonist. I'm going to rank it as A tier. Yeah, A tier. I feel like I am ranking it maybe a little more generously than I should, because I just love a villainous animes, but you know, it is what it is. Next up, okay, we have to, I don't know why I've even put it off this long. So this is The Dangers in My House Season 2. I put out a video at the start of last year. I don't think like anyone's seen it. Last I checked, I think it had like 20 views or something. But, I put out a video around New Year's of last year, ranking what was my favorite, what was my #1 anime of last year. Like 2023. And what I said was my #1 anime for that year was actually season 1 of The Dangers in My House. So let's just put this up at S tier right now, because it was never going to be anything else. The Dangers in My House season 2 is actually better than season 1. It just gets even better. So this is I think it's middle school rom-com. Oh, is it high school? I think it's middle school. Let me check. I think I'm going to start the manga of this like any day / week / month now. Hey, greetings, Sovereign Dowk. We're talking about anime today. Tier listing every anime from last year. Is it middle school? Or I think it's middle school. Does it say in the description here? Middle school. Yeah, the dangers in my house is middle school. I think it is. I've watched a number of romance anime. I like action anime, but I also love romance animes as well. I think it's possibly the best romance anime I've ever seen. Yeah, it's just portray. It's the character growth and the characters' interactions, and just it feels very human in some ways. I haven't actually watched much anime after I got into web novels. That's fair. Like, I have multiple on this list that I've read the source material for, but I haven't watched the anime. This one right here, I was talking about how, like, yeah, I read the light novels for this one, but I haven't gotten to the actual anime for it, but I wanted to rate it in this list anyways. So, you know, I actually relate to that. I get it. But I'll say I oftentimes... Wait, is that Tanya? Or am I getting the name mixed up? Yeah, that's Tanya. I actually need to, like, re-watch that one sometime, because it's been... what, like 6 years since I saw it? It's been a bit... I don't remember all the details, that one. Also, I really, really like one of the, like, anime openings for Tanya. But anyways, yeah, the dangers in my house, I highly recommend to anyone who likes romance animes. What's its genres? Romance, comedy, school, shonen, yeah. I need to read the manga for it sometime. Yeah. I think that's it. I think that's all there is for me to say about it. It's asked you, it's insanely well written. The characters are really well done. There's even interesting side characters, and at least like one interesting side ship, which I love. I love it when... Okay, so I actually really... I am not a... I like it much more when you have a romance anime that not every romantic relationship in the anime has a connection to the main character. I mean, I'm not going to go too into detail with that. We have other animes to get to. But yeah. Yeah, there's at least one side romance in it. And I think there's a chance we'll get more side romances. One of the best examples is the show Horimiya does a good job with that. But actually, let's go with speaking of... Yeah, exactly. Side romances make the world feel lived in. It also makes it feel like not... It makes it feel like the world doesn't revolve around the main character. Which there are certainly some animes that have that feeling. I like the fragrant flowers blooms with dignity. I feel like I have this one in my plan to watch list. Wait, the fragrant... Oh, right. Wait. I do have this one in my plan to watch list, and the anime hasn't come out yet. They've just announced the adaptation is coming out sometime this year. I read a few pages of the manga that was shared on a subreddit. I can't wait for that one. It sounds interesting. Okay. Wait. What one was I going? Oh, right. It's 137 chapters, I don't know. Ooh. We're not getting all of that adapted, are we? Oh. That's... I mean, it is what it is. Okay, so speaking of romances and speaking of source material, this one is called Alia Sometimes Whispers, and that's what I call it. What's the full title? Alia sometimes hides her feelings in Russian. Okay, it doesn't even have whispers in it. Alia sometimes hides her feelings in Russian. I haven't seen a single episode of this. I'll tell you that right now. I haven't seen any of this. I've read, I think, 5 books of the light novel series. When I read those 5 books, it was everything that was out. But I think since then, at least 1, maybe 2 more books have released. I really want to get to reading those, but I haven't gotten to reading them. Now, to talk about the actual story. It's a story about... Okay, so there are 2 main characters. One of the main characters, Alia, is a Russian transfer student to a Japanese school. The other main character is this guy, Masachika. And he knows Russian. He knows Russian because of multiple things about his past. No one knows he knows Russian. She whispers things in Russian. Sometimes they're how she feels, sometimes they're more exaggerated versions of how she feels. And Masachika doesn't exactly take them straightforwardly. But it's just right there. I think that's an interesting premise to me in itself without anything else, because how to put it, because it adds some drama and some secret keeping, because he tries to keep it secret that he knows Russian, and she tries to keep it secret what she's even saying in Russian. That right there is interesting to me, and that right there is interesting enough to earn it an A tier. I'm going to push it to S tier, but bear in mind, and I'll explain why I'm pushing it to S tier. But bear in mind, this is all with me just having read the books. I don't actually know if the anime is even any good. So, maybe it's terrible. At least in the books, there's the wonderful sort of mind games thing going on, because a large part of the story also has to do with how the Russian girl, Alia, she wants to become the school president. She wants to get elected, and Masachika, although he doesn't always act like it, is very capable and very good at helping her with that goal of his. He pretends to be a bit more average than he is, though in reality he's actually very smart. Which all of that school election stuff, I think actually turns out to, at least with what I've read so far, be a really interesting, like, I don't know, subplot. Like, I really like that subplot. There's also some interesting stuff with the fact that he actually has a sister, a twin sister, I think, in the school, and neither of them, people don't know they're related or know each other. It's interesting. I'm going to stop talking because I might start spoiling stuff. I'm putting it in S tier because I like the books. I have not seen the anime. Let's end it there. What are we rating the next? Oh, we have a bunch of romance ones. I do like intrigue with my romance, whereas where we didn't have much to it. At the very least, the novel does do some intriguing stuff with it. I do think I would guess that there is some fan servicey stuff in it, given what the light novel is like. Whether you like that or not. Sometimes I find fan service annoying when it's too blatant. I don't know how it turns out in this anime. Okay, let's go with... Here's what we're going to do. We're going to alternate between the action ones and the romance ones left in my list. We're going to start with Unnamed Memory, which is actually probably both. Yeah, Unnamed Memory is both romance and action. The second season of Unnamed Memory is coming out right now. Wait. Let me pull up Unnamed Memory really quick because I'm trying to remember. Unnamed Memory. Oh, right. Okay, I'm almost at the end of the first season. I'm not actually quite done with watching Unnamed Memory. It's actually probably just B tier right where it is here. I'm going to explain what it's about though. It's Unnamed Memory is about a prince who defeats the trials of this witch, conquering the tower that she's built and put monsters and such in. It's been a bit since I saw the first episode. I don't remember exactly what was in the tower, but the whole deal is that she'll owe someone a favor if they conquer her tower, and she'll like use her magic to accomplish it. She'll cast a spell for someone, and actually this is starting to sound a bit like The Witch and the Beast, but The Witch and the Beast is battle in that this guy needs the witch to undo a curse on him. When it turns out that she can't, and I guess this is where it stops being similar to The Witch and the Beast, but when it turns out that she can't at this time at least, she'll need to work on it if she's to undo the curse easily. I think he says, okay, why don't you marry me, because something like the curse is to do with him like being unable to reproduce with and to have children with a normal woman, and she'd be able to, and then she doesn't marry him at least at that point. I haven't finished it. Maybe at some point she does. But, she instead comes back with him to his kingdom as his protector, and potentially she'll figure out how to undo the curse. And the story goes from there with them fighting some threats to the kingdom, and there's stuff. It's interesting. I like a good fighting a duo, and that's actually going to come up in a little bit. I love a good fighting a duo, and they're a bit of a fighting duo, a witch and a prince he has this sword. I think it's a magic sword, right? Yeah. It's B tier. Yeah. It's good. I recommend if that sounds interesting. Okay, let's go over to... This one is called A Sign of Affection. This is a romance one. As I said, we're alternating between action and romance here. This is a romance one, and it is about a girl who is deaf. I think both main characters in this are college students, which is interesting. It's unlike some of these, it's an adult romance rather than like a middle school one. She is deaf. The main guy is he's from Germany, maybe? I might be misremembering. And he loves to travel, and he decides to start learning sign language, and it's just a cute little romance. And what sets it apart is clearly the different language barrier of sign language versus not, and it's interesting. It's very good. I think it's B tier. Yeah, it's B tier. Fantastic. If I'm saying no, I feel like, yeah, it's fantastic. But I don't think it's quite A tier. Let's move on. Let's go with High Cloud next. This is season 2 of High Cloud. High Cloud is, I think it's an original anime. It just does not have source material. This is the original theme. It is cool. It's an anime about I guess the basic idea is there's essentially a deck of playing cards that's magical, and its cards have been scattered all over the country. And if you get one of the playing cards, you can like activate it. I guess it sort of transforms into gloves, basically, which I don't remember if we ever have an explanation for why gloves of all things, but the gloves come with a superpower. Yeah, season 1 was pretty good. And what's a good example of a superpower? One of the characters in it, a character who's a good guy, gets like plant control and can make vines and stuff. Ooh, the main character has just like a... I don't know, he has a gun, which is one of the least interesting of the powers. He has a gun and it shoots. That's his superpower. Yeah. I mean, you need a main character, sure. But there's some really interesting powers in it. Some really dangerous ones, and there's also some interesting stuff, like each suit kind of does have a theme to its powers, and I think typically like the aces of a suit are supposed to be able to, oh, is it the twos? I can't remember. The like lowest, weakest of the suit are supposed to be able to counter the strongest of that suit as well. I think that's just a kind of general idea. Whether it works in every case, but it's good. I do think it's B tier. I really like it. It's also like just my style as well too. It's not. I love the style of the characters. Like a lot of the characters like wear suits in it and of different colors and stuff. Reminds me of, I don't know. It's a cool style. It's not steampunk, but it's a really cool style. I think that's all really to say about it. I recommend it. The strength of a card depends on whether or not the deck is playing in blackjack. Yeah. Oh, wait. Yeah, there's also some, I really quick, there's also some interesting stuff in a high card, because they also bring up some, they kind of relate the deck of playing cards to like some like King Arthur sort of mythos, which makes it even more interesting. Yeah. Okay. So we did another action one. We're back to the romance ones. We have 2 left. We have 365 days to the wedding. Oh, pseudo here. We'll do 365 days to the wedding. This one I finished just like a month ago or something. Maybe partly because it finished just like a month ago or something. This is an interesting one. I need to state its premise really quick. The premise is these 2 main characters. The 2 main characters work in a travel agency. I think I've read the manga of that. Interestingly, they changed a detail from of the premise from the manga to the anime, and not that I've read the manga, but I do know they changed the detail. The idea is the people working at this travel agency, they're opening a branch way out in the frozen tundra, and they are going to send 2 people from the travel agency to open this new branch of it. And honestly, no one really wants to go out to this new branch. They just want to stay here. The trick? They've stated that they're not going to be... They're going to be prioritizing people that aren't married to send to this branch. So the... Oh, and here's the difference I heard between the manga and the anime, is that like in the manga I think it's like Siberia, in the anime it's like Anchorage, Alaska, I think. So the deal is that the 2 main characters kind of decide to have like a fake engagement. It's like, oh yes, by the way, co-workers, we're engaged, sort of thing. So we can't get sent to that far off, lonely, cold branch of the travel agency. Also, interestingly, they're both like very introverted people, which makes it a little different as far as animes go, and I do like that. I'm going to say this is A tier. I'm going to keep talking about it. it's very good. We see interesting sides of the characters, and we even see some interesting stuff with a couple side characters, though we don't get too into the side character. So I'd kind of like it if we did get more into the side characters a bit, but it just shows doubts about them maintaining the charade, and you know, sometimes you fake something enough, it becomes real, sort of. It also has that theme I've mentioned multiple times today that I like, having to like keep a secret, because they have to keep the secret that this is fake. It's good. And this is another one of those, and I suppose I haven't really mentioned this yet in this list of anime, but this is another of another romance anime that to me falls into this category of romance animes where it ends early. There's like a number of romance animes that like end like, it's like, oh look, they finally truly gotten together. I mean, I guess this is a bit of spoilers. I don't think it actually is too much. I mean, I'm not saying when this ends, but there's a number of animes that kind of end just like the characters are finally truly together, dating or married or something, but then we end it before they actually like too much in the way of dating or whatever. I mean, there's 11 manga chapters for you to read. I don't actually know where the anime is in that, where it ends. I'll have to look into that. It's not at the top of my list of mangas to read, as I mean, I think Dan is the one that's at the top of my list of mangas to get to. But yeah, it's good. It is good. Not the best romance, but very good. Okay, we'll do this one next. This is Funny enough, Dan is one of the few popular animes that I haven't watched the anime, read the manga, or read the light novel of. It is good. It is wild. It is wild. But it's good. I need to look up the full name of this because it is not at all important for me to say the full name, but I'm going to anyways. So this one right here, this one is my instant death ability is so overpowered, no one in this other world stands a chance against me. To be clear, because some people actually legitimately don't get this. This anime, manga, light novel right here is absolutely a parody. It is not to be taken seriously. We don't want people to hurt themselves taking it too seriously. Now, I actually did a video where I tier listed some isekai animes, and I did tier list this on it. It's one of those where I just turn my brain off while I read it. That sounds about right. So, I think if I remember right, I tier listed the anime quite badly, but I did something interesting where I tier listed the anime and the light novels separately. I've read a lot of the light novels. I haven't read all of it because I only read so much of it at once. There's only so much of the wackiness of instant death I can take at once. I'll just say I really like the light novels. The anime wasn't the best adaptation. I'm going to put the anime adaptation in a C tier, but I'm going to say the light novels are fantastic. If I was rating the light novel right now, I would put the light novel up here in S tier. But I am rating the anime and not the light novel. The light novel, though, is in S tier. I'm saying it right now. It's... I haven't talked about what this show is. Let me talk about it. I'm going to state spoilers. Yeah, I'm going to say some spoilers about this. I think. Should I say some spoilers? I almost don't care about saying some spoilers for instant death, because I don't think spoilers matter much. If you go onto the internet to look up much of anything about instant death, you will actually stumble upon this information I'm going to say right here. Well, I'll get to the spoiler in a minute. So the idea of this one is that a whole school bus is summoned to another world, and the students on the school bus are, well, all but 4 of them are gifted special powers to let them grow stronger, and hopefully they'll become a sage in this world and be able to help this new world. It's kinda how it starts. The main character is one of the 2 main characters of the 4 characters on the school bus not gifted with special powers. The girl in it is not gifted with special powers for a specific reason, because her family's guardian spirit protects her from being gifted with these powers, because kind of as it turns out, these special powers do have some special drawbacks to them, so you don't exactly want them. The main character, the male main character in this, he why would he be gifted with special powers? That's the real question. The main character, who the title is about, my instant death ability is so overpowered no one in this other world stands a chance against him. He already has supernatural powers of a sense. So he, oh, what do I say? So he can kill anyone with a thought. Anyone with a thought. He can just think that person dies, and then that person dies. When we say he's overpowered, he's among the most overpowered characters across all anime. Yes! I wasn't sure if I was going to say that, Saffron Dog. But yeah, he can kill concepts with a thought. Could he beat Goku? I mean, yes. Easily. He is... So... oh, I kind of want to say... No, I won't spoil. I mean, that's not even in the anime, and we're not getting another season of the anime, do I say? He's so powerful. There's a certain point, and I don't think the anime. One of my favorite parts in the light novel, the anime just does not do justice. There's a moment that one of the characters, one of the powerful characters in the show, not one of his classmates, but a different powerful character, actually one of the sages, has the ability to see things of fate value. This concept of a fate value only ever comes up with this character, but she can essentially see how important people and things are, and she actually uses that to defeat people and things, because if something is of a certain importance, then certain dramatic events will need to happen to take them out. She's one of the most interesting characters in the series, and the anime does not do her justice. She has some other interesting abilities, but I actually never read the manga. Usually, when there's a light novel and a manga for something, I actually default to the light novel for it, because I'm a bit of a bookworm. And I like books, light novels. I read mangas as well, but if there's a light novel, yeah. But when this character, and right here, we're going to say right here, we're getting into spoilers. We're not going to stay in spoilers too long. If you are not watching this live or something and you don't want the spoilers for this, just come back when I grab the next one of these and move it out there. Mute or skip, I don't know. But okay, so this sage looks at him to see how important he is, because he'll defeat people by seeing how, and she sees that there is nothing really as important as this guy. He is, and she suddenly realizes that they were just absolutely silly when they were summoning people to this other world, that they thought that they could only summon people weaker than them, and that he is just like a void. He is an oblivion. He is where everything ends. All the fates eventually lead back to this guy. Give that woman an absolute existential crisis, and yes, she has an absolute meltdown, in fact, and kind of goes insane. I'll be honest, the manga's pretty lame. Probably didn't do light novel justice. You're probably right. She literally goes insane. One of her abilities lets her kind of control the world around her, and the world kind of starts going crazy around her later on when one of the other sages comes to visit her. But big time spoilers right here. The main character in this is literally the concept of the end. Not in his world, it's not in his universe, not in his multiverse, his outerverse. Like, outside of all of this, he is the embodiment of the end of all things. And he is... I didn't realize I was going to go on this rant when I started this tier list, but I'm in the middle of this now, so there's a reason no one can kill him. It wouldn't even make sense for people to be able to kill him. why would someone be able to kill him? He also doesn't exist in a the boy we see in this picture is just like an avatar for this concept of the inn, who wondered what it would be like to feel to live a human life, but he's not a human. That's just what he looks like there. And time travelers try to take him out. Silly. Don't try. Honestly, one of the worst things you could do is try to use time travel to take him out. Yeah, you can't kill him. Honestly, the only thing I liked about the story was the lab/past of him. The interesting thing, actually, about the structure of the light novels themselves, and we're like kind of getting a bit off topic, but anyways, the interesting thing about the light novels themselves is each volume ended with a short story from back in the labs that he originally grew up in and such, which was an interesting way to do it, doing the full like story in this other fantasy land for most of the book, and then going back to his past in growing up in the labs. Yeah. Like, to clarify for people who don't know, he's kind of an SCP from our world. He grew up in a locked up lab. Yeah. Yeah. Which is hilarious, having an eldritch monster, an SCP, as a main character. Funny thing, reading that reminds me a lot of reading The Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy. And I've actually seen other people make the comparison as well. I'm not the only one who thinks that. Okay, next up. Next up we have pseudo Hiram. That's what it's called. I'll say right off the bat, Hiram in the title makes me go, oh, I probably won't like this. But pseudo. What even is a pseudo Hiram? Desert Hitchhiker's Guide was much more sci-fi-esque in my opinion, and I don't link ideas across genres well. Okay, to clarify why Instant Death reminds me of Hitchhiker's Guide, it's the in about the way it subverts our expectations of the genre, and also in about the way we will just in the light novel we randomly go down we end the chapter, then we pick up this new chapter, and it's talking about a character we've never heard of. It talks about this chapter for a few pages, giving the character backstory, and then the character does something happens with them. Then we return to the main story, and it's like that character was just a side character that we were seeing, and like both stories do this sort of thing for the sake of comedy, where they give something insignificant, they bring up something insignificant and give it this importance, then they get rid of it in a way. But anyways, pseudo Hiram. How is there such a thing as a pseudo Hiram? Well, this is first up, it's a romance anime. And I think it's a high school romance anime, where and it's kind of about the theater club, not drama, theater, and one of the main characters, the guy, he makes the props and stuff for the theater club. The girl in it, she's a brand new actress joining the theater club, and the way we get through the concept of the show is that she performs loads of different characters. And in a way, she like flirts with him with different personality. There's like Imp-chan, Sundara-chan. There's they give different names for all her personalities. I wonder. Can I? Ooh. No, wait. Wait. Here. We have a list. How many different personalities? No, wait. I thought. Okay. Anyway, she has like a number of different personalities that she like switches between. They're not actually different personalities. They're just different performances, and it's. A tier. It is just really sweet and really cute. Maybe it's S tier. Is it S tier? This might grow on me, and in the future it might be that I'd say this is S tier. For the moment, I'm saying it's A tier. It's just a really cute high school. So basically, girl with DID flirts with guy. Sort of at the start, but I will say they kind of we have that as the premise, but as it goes, I would say like by the midpoint of it, we kind of start getting less and less with that idea, and it's more. It gets to be more of a traditional, just rom-com. I'm going to say I like this more than a typical rom-com. I think it's just done better than a typical one. I don't think it's enough for me to put it in S tier, but I think it is genuinely just like a step above a typical one. It's just like the way it just handles the writing and the character development, and not resorting to what I would call like cheap ways to just extend the plot. It's genuinely just like good writing. So it's A tier. I feel like I need another tier between some of these tiers. I am running low on water again. It's good we're getting to the end of this. When I read the synopsis of it, it reminded me of 2.5D Seduction. I think I've seen that. I haven't watched it or anything, though. I've seen that in a passing. Is that one good? Yeah, I've seen this in a passing. I haven't read it. Is it good? It's pretty good. Might have to keep it in mind. Okay, we're on to the last one. Oh, we're on to the last one. Just a moment. We are now rating Undead Unlock. What I'm about to say is going to give away that I like this one, so I'll just say I like this one. Oh wait, and girls who like him cosplay as his favorite characters. Oh yeah, I think I read the premise. That sounds familiar. So, Undead Unlock. this is very much an action one, but there is some romance going on as well in it. 2 days from now, it's going to be a very sad day. 2 days from now. Because 2 days from now, the very last chapter of the manga of Undead Unluck releases. We're not getting any more, I don't think. I'm sad. I have been reading the manga along with it for a bit now. A few months ago I read through the full manga, which this in itself tells you that I like this. I'm going to put it in its tier right now, then we'll talk about it. This is S tier. It is a weird one. I will preface it with that right now. I will preface it with that right now. It is a very strange one. But what do I describe about the anime? How much do I go into detail? There's like some things that could be spoilers. Okay, so there's this concept in this world of negators. In the title, it's Undead Unluck. Well, there's also on this, on that. There's a bunch of things you can put the letters U on in front of. There's I don't want to say too many of them because some of them are spoilers. There's like unavoidable. There's these things that are negators. The two main characters are Undead and Unluck. They are people who negate those concepts. One of them negates the concept of death on himself, so he cannot die. He also can't control this, so he, even if he wanted to die, which he does, he couldn't. The main character is this Japanese girl who negates luck. And the promise is, years ago, she hugged her parents goodbye at the airport as they were getting on a plane. And that's the moment that she became the negator. And at that moment, she negated the luck in her parents. And the plane that her parents got on crashed. Everyone on it died. And since then, she hasn't really gone outside. Because of that. And the show starts out with her, I think she's going to kill herself. And that's when she meets the guy who can't die. To explain, it's when she touches people with her bare skin that she kind of negates their luck. And that happens with this guy, but you know, he gets struck with something that really should kill him, but he doesn't die. And kind of the adventures of these two kind of begin there. And we meet these other people who are negators. Some of them are on our side, some of them are against us, some of them are kind of crazy, some of them are a little less crazy. And there's also, I don't think I really want to spoil some of this stuff, but I'm going to say there's some really fascinating stuff with how the world works in this, because they negate things. They negate rules of the world, but there's another sort of thing, and I'm not going to explain this because I don't want to spoil this. I like this so much that I don't want to spoil. there's another thing in this role. It's these. I'm not going. No, I don't want to spoil. That enforce the rules. These people break the rules. These other things enforce the rules. There's another way I could put it, but that would be most spoilery. And at a certain point, I actually within the first season, they get a sort of goal that they set their sights on. That is a kind of overarching goal, and the manga is very, very good, I think, in my opinion. I also think that this is I don't think this is spoilers, but you don't really see all of it in the first season, which we just have the first season out. Hopefully we get more sometime. But if you read the manga, especially, the main character, I think, has an insane amount of growth from the start of the from the very start of the story to the end of the story, which I've just now reminded myself it ends in 2 days. But I think by the end of the story, she's one of the coolest female characters in anime. One of the coolest female characters in anime by the end of that. And that is... I'm saying that while I have one of the coolest and as my desktop, but I just have to say it. Yeah. Anything else I can say about Undead Unluck? It is super. Oh, I should say. Now I've remembered. So the anime does have some flaws. The anime itself has some major flaws, I will say. There are some extreme amounts of flashbacks in the anime, which is just so silly, the amount of flashback to things we've already seen in the anime. Previous episodes, way overused. If we just cut out a lot of the flashbacks, even though it would shorten the episodes, I think it would make it better. I'm rating it S tier, but it does have a major flaw right there. Yeah. Yeah. I want to say more, but I don't want to spoil, so I don't think I can say anymore. So I noticed that our music stopped. I had music playing a while back. I don't know why it stopped. I can press play here, but a little late, because I think we're going to wrap the stream up here. I enjoyed doing this. We've had, some people in chat, Professional Jester, Sovereign Dog, and we had Yagsath earlier, and I think at the start, we had Sans at the start of the stream, but also in the end, I'm not sure exactly how well the stream performed. I will have to look at some analytics and kind of find out. I would like to do some more, as I talked about on our New Year's stream, I would like to do more streams that are not entirely gameplay content. Even though I love video games, I'd like to try and push the channel a little into, I don't know, different things. Yeah. Like this. So I'm going to see if this actually worked out well as far as analytics and stuff go, and maybe we can figure out I don't know, other similar things that this was 3 hours of me just talking. and I enjoyed it. Maybe we can figure out other similar things. I'm fine with doing a stream list without me tacking and rating the things. I don't know. But yeah, I mean, most people watch streams for their streamer to tag. Exactly. Like, there are times I put on a stream while I'm making food or doing the dishes or something like that, and I barely pay attention to the game and just hear the bit. It's like, yeah. Yeah, also doing this sort of thing, I think, helps me think about things I could make for videos, and I'd like to make more actual videos on the channel. I'm so rarely make them. I like listening to people talk, but I hate audio books and podcasts. I like podcasts, but not your typical podcasts. I like these podcasts about certain games and certain thing, but probably not a typical podcast. Yeah, so later this week, wrapping this up, later this week we have one stream left. We're playing some lobotomy co-op on Sunday, the last day of the week. I can't wait for that. I don't remember what day we're on of it, or I'd say. Yeah, we'll play some more lobotomy co-op. I will try and get a schedule up for next week. I'm trying to get better at actually putting up the schedules for each week. I don't know what we'll be playing next week. Hoping to get to some more Reverse 1999 as well as some more lobotomy co-op, but there's also one or two other games I think we need to get to soon. Like, yeah. I hope everyone enjoyed today. And until next time, please do. Actually, I'll say, I've been meaning to put it. No, I've been trying to get a chat, but a bot for chat put together for this. I'm trying to get a bot in the chat to, like, once every hour or two put a thing, because I'm not very good at saying it myself. But if anyone is watching this and enjoyed it, consider liking it. That helps YouTube show other people it, and also consider subscribing. And until next time, everyone, please do try and have a blast for me. Bye.